The better you can have, the higher your plantar flexion off the ball of your big toe, the higher level you have in sprint performance. Your toe flexors are important. With the forward lean, that's what's going to help you keep your heel up when you pull out. So it's intrinsic muscles. And your ankles are going to generate. So they're going to do the plantar flexion to move you forward. They're going to get energy to come through. And again, we'll watch good videos here where we'll see that really happen. So again, part of that is why we do gecko squats up against the wall and push over the ball of your big toe and push forward, because we're getting the vastus lateralis and the plantar flexors to all move together to move us forward. Reducing dorsiflexors in the early stance phase benefited the first step acceleration. Try to keep that ankle locked as 90 the best you can. You can do drops and holds. We'll get to holds later on to help that. And then Ken Clark talking about how fast that leg comes in the ground is going to have a huge impact on how fast we run. So some exercises, some plantar flexion from acceleration points, heavy band. We can see that heel trying to move forward. You can change angles. You can change band sizes. Simple, easy, waiting in line to get your runs in. Great exercise. Here's where people get pissed. There have been 8 major studies trying to correlate max strength and strength in the weight room with your start. There is nothing positive. There is no modern literature available to support the idea that what you do in the weight room is going to have an impact on how you start. Sorry. I tried finding it. Didn't exist. So how are you going to build if you're going to do sleds? If you're going to work on your hip and hamstring strength, if you're going to go heavy, you will know that the weight is too much if they bend over the belt. And I know really heavy sled starts have been talked about in the past and how useful they are, but really if you're bending over the belt, it's too much. If you're working on your plantar flexion, you are going to make it really light. Because once you weight it down too much, you have taken the slack out of the ankle and you cannot use your elastic Achilles tendon to help move you down the track, which is really what we're trying to do. If you're going to make it into your vertical jump, because there is talk of vertical jump tying to vertical jump, watch her feet snap. That's a plantar flexion vertical jump. That's what we're looking to do. Or in the center here, you can see how she rolls her hips to jump. And she pops 32 through her hips. Or again on the far right, oops. Far right's not going to work. Here we go, far right. Again, rolls hips and drives straight up.
Quarter turn.
That's why she can start. So here's my favorite start exercise. It is a isometric, heel high, leaning way back, and you're going to squat down. So it's almost like you're making yourself into a chair. It's literally going to be your first 3 steps coming out of the blocks. And again, you can see his musculature in his calf jump way up as he is doing this plantar flexion hold. Here's another way to do it. Off the hamstring, off the deadlift machine. Heel could be higher in a perfect world. Weight's probably too much. Vertical roll and push. Hinge and extend. Hinge and extend. Here it is from the back. He's rolling up over the top, getting the ball of his foot. We're going to move it into roll over the top and push. If I'm standing from behind, I want to see the bottom of the shoe. Here's a bad one. Whole foot's on the ground. They're trying to roll over the top, but watch these first steps. Foot's flat on the ground. He's going nowhere. Drop shin down so you get used to pushing, similar to what we just did. But again, just being comfortable in that position, trying to get the strength in your foot to push from in that when it's vertical. Oops. I was trying to use the fancy Apple camera thing moving along and the sun got me. But you can see what he's doing there. He's just working on doing that extension coming out of the blocks, trying to keep his shin low. Staggered broad jump. Working on our first step, so he's got to push off that back leg. So I'll see that back leg move forward when he pushes. Another plantar flexion jumps with resistance. It's not that heavy. But you can see that heel moving forward rather than up. Something I look for when I'm doing assessments is that heel moving forward or up when it comes off the ground. Here it is from back. I did this one already, I think. Oops, it's in there double. No, now he's going vertically. Now he's working on height. I know it looks kind of like a bound, but in a lot of bounds, we work on splits with our legs and how hard we're pushing. This is just all ankles. Feet as guides, I've talked about this before. Where are your feet pushing you to? So one thing you can do, whether you're sprinting or resisted, make a target in front of your face and try to keep the target on a spot. Make your feet help, or the always famous Dan Fichter forward Fichters, which we're going to see. Your body quickly learns where to push with all the rubber bands going on. So looking at some starts here. When you pop, oh, come on. When you pop up, you've lost your fulcrum. See how he doesn't move over the back of the foot? Now he's up tall. There's no fulcrum to drive you forward, and it's more of a fall, which is why he doesn't get much height here. This is going too far forward. He tried to be too high here, and he falls. But that's okay. He's learning his... Watch how hard his back leg kicks into the pedal here. Too high on that foot. So watch on the top. No plantar flexion. On that front foot, he's straight up and down, although he's trying, and now you're late on your hinge. And at the bottom here, a little bit of a give. Not a whole lot of plantar flexion coming out though. Very average, very average. Here's a good high school start. He's probably the best starter I've ever had. Guys from 1080 came out and said he is the most powerful person that they've ever tested. He just fell apart at the end of every race. Fulcrum over the top. You see his heels driving him forward, and he takes off. He had his best days at practice. In practice, he was phenomenal. Here's another good one. Knees even. Plantar flexion coming up off the block. Plantar flexion again. Plantar flexion again. Hinging right over the top of his toe. Another good one. Quiet day at HF there, it looks like. Could get a little better push off the black block. But watch his plantar flexion here. His shin rolls down. Heel goes so quick it jumps right off the screen. Goes blur. Hinge, drive, hinge, drive, hinge, drive. Trying to hinge. You can see his heel floats up on his right. Right heel moves forward, left heel floats up. Some people might call that a low recovery, but it's a low recovery for a reason. It's not something that you force, it's because of the horizontal drive that you get out of the blocks. Here's from a 2-point. Hinge, drive, heels moving forward, low shin angle because he can hinge and rotate his calf down. It's pretty good. I've used this video 1,000 times, but now we can see her do a 2 shank and thigh roll down, extension, extension. Good plantar flexion all the way through. Soccer player, professional soccer player somewhere over in England. I forgot what team he plays for. Rolls over. Great plantar flexion here. That's why he's supposedly the fastest guy in whatever league that is. Good width here where he's not running across. It helps him get to his big toe. Heel travels in, heel moves through the middle instead of pushing out. That's what we want to look like. Here's no fulcrum. When he pushes, he just pushes up and out. It stops, and foot floats up. Not as good. That's why he doesn't go anywhere on that second step. In my next 2 presentations in California and in Charlotte, I will go deep, deep, deep into the foot, but hopefully this is a good enough start for you guys to start working on your starts. And good luck.